It's January in Tokyo. It's 4 degrees C outside. And inside this apartment, most rooms are exactly the same temperature as outside. The family living here isn't poor. They're not suffering. They're warm. They've just figured out something Americans spend $30 billion a year getting wrong. In the US, we heat the entire house, every room, all the time, even the rooms nobody's in. We've decided that warm means a 200 square meter bubble of 21 degrees Celsius. Air maintained 24 hours a day, whether anyone's home or not. Japan looked at that and said, why would you ever do that? By the end of this video, I'm going to show you the actual energy difference between how Japan heats and how America heats. It's not 20% less. It's not half. It's a number that genuinely shocked me when I ran it. Stick around. The Japanese approach is called danbo, and the principle is simple. Heat the person, not the room. The most famous example is the kotatsu, a low table with a heater built into the underside and a heavy blanket draped over it. You sit on the floor, slide your legs under the blanket, and the warmth stays trapped around your body. A kotatsu uses about 80 to 150 watts. That's less than a desktop computer. Compare that to American central heating. The average US furnace running on a cold day pulls between 30,000 and 100,000 BTUs per hour. Converted to watts, that's roughly 60 to 100 times more energy than a kotatsu. To heat air, that mostly sits in rooms nobody's in. The kotatsu is just the beginning. The Japanese household is full of tools that target heat exactly where a human body needs it. The hanten, a thick padded jacket worn indoors. The utanpo, a hot water bottle that's been used in Japan for 700 years and still outperforms most modern solutions on cost per hour of warmth. Heated carpets that warm the 2 square meters you're actually standing on. Even the toilet seats are heated, because the one place you genuinely don't want a cold surface is, well, that one. Every single one of these targets, a human body, not a volume of air. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Japan didn't invent this approach because they're more virtuous than we are. They did it because their houses, historically, were impossible to heat. Traditional Japanese homes were built with sliding paper doors, single-pane windows, and almost no insulation. The reasoning was earthquakes, humidity, and summer ventilation. A sealed, insulated house in a Japanese summer becomes a mold factory. So homes were designed to breathe, which meant in winter heating the whole house wasn't just expensive, it was physically impossible. The heat would leave as fast as you made it. So Japanese culture solved the problem at the level of the body instead of the building. Here's the number I promised you. A typical American home in winter uses around 50 to 80 kilohackers per day on heating alone. A traditional Japanese household using kotatsu, hanten, and spot heating, around 3 to 8 kilowaras per day. Same comfort level, same number of people, roughly 1/10 the energy. If American households heated like Japanese households, the US would cut residential energy use by something like 15%. That's bigger than the entire output of every solar panel in the country combined. I want to be honest with you. There's a real cost to this system, and it's not energy. It's that the rooms are genuinely cold. If you get out from under the kotatsu to go to the kitchen, you feel it. Bathrooms in Japanese homes in winter are notoriously brutal. There's actually a documented health phenomenon called heat shock, where elderly people have heart attacks moving from a warm living room to a cold bathroom. It kills around 19,000 people in Japan every year. This isn't a perfect system. But the answer isn't to abandon the philosophy, it's to combine it with better insulation, which is exactly what modern Japanese homes are starting to do. So what does this mean for you? sitting in a house in Ohio or Manchester or Melbourne. You don't need a kotatsu. You probably can't sit on the floor for 4 hours anyway, but the principle scales. Heated throw blankets cost about 5 cents an hour to run. A space heater pointed at your desk while you work uses a fraction of what your central heat uses to warm your entire upstairs. Wearing an actual sweater, a real one, not a t-shirt with sleeves, lets most people drop their thermostat 3 to 4 degrees without noticing. Each degree is roughly 3% off your heating bill. The Japanese question isn't, how do I heat my house? It's, where is the heat actually needed? Once you start asking that question, your energy use collapses. And this matters beyond your bill. Residential heating is responsible for about 10% of total U.S. carbon emissions. We've spent decades looking for some magical clean technology to replace gas furnaces. Heat pumps will help, but the cheapest, fastest, already invented climate technology is the one Japan has been using for 400 years. Stop heating empty rooms. The dryer video I made last week made the same point about a different appliance. There's a pattern here. Most of what Americans treat as basic infrastructure, the always-on furnace, the always-on dryer, the always-on everything, is a choice. It's a recent choice, and most of the world doesn't make it. The next video is on Dutch houses and why they don't own air conditioners despite summers getting hotter every year. Same principle, different appliance. Subscribe if you want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes.